What's going on out there in FearFishing land? We're show number 11, guys.
Ooh, that's a good number.
That's a good
That's
number.
my favorite
I have a
number.
tattoo of the number 11
So
on my
do
arm.
I.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
We're like twins.
11.
It just happened.
I had mine first.
You did. So, show number 11, Ian West, for anybody who has never tuned in before, fresh to the FearFishing podcast, webcast, whatever you want to call it. You were going to jump in there like Rich.
I was going to say, you don't even know what the name of your show is?
No, we change it.
We just change it when we
It's
want.
the internet. We can just pretty much do whatever we want here. There's no, like, CRTC or anything like that.
Am I supposed to jump in here?
Oh, well, we should probably tell everybody that Rich isn't here tonight. Rich had prior commitments, wasn't able to make the show, so Marley's jumping right big into the hot seat.
Woo!
We're doing this.
Yeah, so introduce yourself, Mr. Horniak.
My name is Marley Horniak, and generally I fish tournaments with Ian West.
Yeah, and just in general, we done a lot of
That's it.
fishing.
Yeah.
A lot of fishing.
We haven't got to fish a lot lately, but
No, life's got in the way.
yeah, life happens.
Life happens, been busy, but we're going to fire her up this summer.
It's a good year.
We are going to rock it.
I was looking at the schedule this year.
It kind of plays into our favor, eh?
It does.
You think so?
Yeah, it's a
You
lot
feel
of
it?
events too.
It is.
They're crammed in there.
It is going to be.
Is he close enough?
Yeah, he's
Can
good.
you
I can hear him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I might get divorced
You
Oh.
could.
this weekend, this year. This might be the final
This
season.
is this could be like it. Well, it's a tough world out
I'll
there.
teach Melissa the way.
She's dealt with a lot of shit over the years.
Yeah.
Poor girl.
Yeah, she is rock solid.
Yeah, she has put up with a lot of. I
Ian
remember
West?
yeah, Ian West, exactly. Nightmare stories.
You settled down.
Yeah.
From what I hear, yeah.
My old age.
Your old
Tournaments used to be like being on tour. It
like
was
a rock
awesome.
band?
Yeah, like fish tournaments and then go party and then drag myself
Like
into the truck.
fangirls all over the place?
It was awesome.
Do you have your security pick out the hot ones?
It was awesome. Security. I had Marley.
It's called culling
Culling.
in the fishing world.
All right, so we got Mr. Alex Beggs.
Yeah,
How are you doing, brother?
pretty good. Yourself?
I'm good. Second show.
Nice.
You were able to be quiet during the opening this time.
Yeah, no trees.
Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
You're getting there. Miss Amber.
Hi.
Beautiful as always.
Oh, thanks.
Stopping by to sit on the couch.
Mm-hmm. Stopping by. I live here.
Yeah, kind of
This is my couch.
debatable.
Mm.
Rumor has it you live here. And Mr. Scott Walton, welcome back.
Thanks, man.
Throwing in the producer chair tonight. A bit of a hiatus, but solid enough to come in and, take over the reins of this animal house.
Yeah, I've been missing.
How's life been since
Good, man.
we
Good.
last saw you? What have you been up to?
A little bit of ice fishing.
How's that been going?
Yeah. It's ice fishing.
It's going?
Passing the time.
It's been a tough year on the ice.
Yeah.
Last Saturday was
Or
really
lack
good.
thereof.
But that's a big problem.
Yeah.
The lack of. I was gonna go to Lake X yesterday,
Like X?
but I was sketchy about the ice. I was like, if I get all the way there and there's an inch of ice,
We went there the one year in the middle of the season.
and there was no ice.
10 and 12 inches on rice, and there was 4.
Yeah, it
4
was
inches
nuts.
up there?
Like scary,
Ugh.
scary, and
They just
pressure
get so
crack.
so much snow, right?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is that you get like 4 inches ice and then 2 feet of snow on it,
Yeah.
and it's just.
And then you punch a hole, and all the water comes
Oh,
up, and
it's
all the
nuts.
slush.
Mm.
But you know what you get there? 20+ pound leggers,
Mm.
monsters, like hogs. Marley got spooled twice in one day on baitcaster.
Get out.
Straight braid,
True story.
Love it.
like a 6-inch Williams.
Come
I'm
on.
not even shitting you.
True story.
True story.
Just repping the Williams.
Not even, just bringing
Really?
them up.
Wow.
Then boom, like rod just peeled over in his hands, trying everything to get it off bottom.
Wow.
You couldn't stop it. It just went. Would not stop.
And we're talking like giant, big jawed. Like when they come up, they look like you're in the Northwest Territories. Like
Dinosaurs.
they're just huge, and they look like a Halliburton, kind of like really dark laker,
Okay.
but they're just gigantic.
They're like thug fish. They've
Yeah,
seen some
they're
stuff.
yeah.
Thug fish. Thug life.
They are badass. the coolest lakers I've ever caught, and they fight like unbelievable.
Did you hear like the NWA song in the back of your head?
Straight out of
Like,
Compton.
Yeah.
It is good. So
Thug life.
today I was on the ice today. It was a bit of a rough day. I thought it'd be good with like the overcast and rainy, but it was tough. A lot of fish come up to crappie. I only got like 4 or 5 crappie, 3, 4, 5 crappie, and I got one little dinky northern pike. And Rich was with me. He got nothing.
Oh no.
Rich went with you.
He went with me. He was with me.
Oh, he's just quiet because he got skunked.
He got skunked.
Ooh.
He had a rough day.
That's why he didn't show up today.
Yeah, he was like
He couldn't
Licking
even
his wounds.
face it.
licking his wounds. He was like, "Screw this! I had enough of West." I'm pretty hard on the young boy, but it was a fun day. It was tough fishing. It's almost like those fish have seen too many baits. So it's
And
time.
I think it's the weather.
Yeah.
You think so?
Up and down from minus 13 to plus 7.
Yeah.
That'll do
Messes
it.
me up.
You think it shouldn't affect them though? They're
You
around
really-
the ice.
Yeah, the ice
They're
is
not
there.
seeing the
like,
conditions, right? Like
how
we
do
are.
they?
Yeah.
Do you think they know it's raining?
I don't know. I'll have to get a crappie and put a little device in it to see what they're
It's
thinking.
I know, for sure they can feel the barometric pressure.
Yes.
Oh, for sure the pressure.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like when
If
like
it's windy, they don't care.
no,
Could they?
I don't know.
I had like a 5-minute bite yesterday. That was it. 5
That's
minutes.
crazy.
They bit for 5 minutes. That was it. Right before sunup.
I was there for like 4 hours, and I bet you a fish an hour. And when they hit, they like really hit. Like
Must
they
have
would come
spread
up
right
and
out.
just drive it. But then another hour go by again, nothing.
Wow.
The well, you know,
Been a stranger.
you were out at the bog.
I went to Skoogog last night.
How was that?
It was okay. We got 8 crappie.
How's the ice?
It's pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah, surprisingly.
that's crazy.
'Cause I don't trust the ice at all in that lake.
No,
Not one
because
bit.
everybody should tell the story of you calling me at like 11 p.m. and I put the truck through the ice.
Yeah, we don't need to hear that story.
The Pathfinder,
Oh.
Pathfinder
He's not
gone.
ready to relive that.
No.
So we go and we got like the whole crew to pull it out, and all I remember is we chainsaw this giant hole, and I looked down the hole and I'm like, how come that's got 5 tires? And he's like, oh, that's a spare. It was on its roof. We pulled her out.
Yeah,
Up to last year, he used the ice out that was in the back of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really.
yeah. My Vex was in there. Everything.
Yeah.
Whole
Homework.
deal.
And like
Homework.
the water was
Cell
right
phone.
up to the roof.
No, it
But
was
it was
like
gone.
gone
Gone.
It
Gone.
was, it was underwater and
Like-
upside down.
How did you guys get it out?
with a hook.
Very carefully.
A hook. So this guy comes from. He came from all the way from Virginia Beach, Lake
Yeah.
Simcoe. Sorry, and he's got like this, like a tracker,
Marley, are you okay?
It's a Chevy Tracker.
Do you need
Chevy
a tissue?
tracker,
I'm okay.
right? And he's got a winch
I
on
was
the
better
front,
touched.
Yeah.
and he brings like 4 other winches. And basically, what you do is hook on to anything you can get. So he brings it to the side of the ice, and then he puts cedar poles under it.
Yep.
And you basically just keep wenching to whatever you can get a hold of and pull it out little by little. It was actually not that hard to get it out.
No, it took like 2 hours.
Yeah,
to get
That's
it out.
not bad.
Yeah.
it was pretty
Was
cool.
it expensive?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
cheap.
Totally.
It was like 2,500
Oh
With-
no, come
with-
on.
cash,
Yeah, with our manpower. Like
and I had to bring people.
Yeah, we had to do the work.
How
this
many
guy,
people?
I had to hook it up too.
there was like 4
You
or
went
5
down
of us.
there?
No, you just like dangled it
Oh,
over
okay.
and then
He had to
Yep.
fish for his own truck.
We brought an aluminum boat out, dragged it to where the truck was, and then reached in, hooked it to the hitch.
there was 2 feet ice on the whole lake except where he went through.
Oh,
And
The
it was-
craziest part is we're like a spectacle out there.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
So there's 100 guys
Dumbass
Yeah.
did that.
all on thin ice.
So all these people that were putting down on Facebook because their trucks are going through the ice, and you're one of them.
Yeah.
I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
man.
it wasn't even like and guys were like, there's a hole in the ice the size of this room. And guys would pull up in like their brand new snowmobiles like right on the edge of it and be like, hey, what's going on,
What are you
guys?
guys doing?
What's up?
Oh, nothing.
We went,
Just
yeah,
playing
Staring
basketball.
at the big hole.
No.
Mowing the lawn.
just crazy. The where else have we been at? We had just had Bell Let's Talk Day. I did a big thing on there about guys talking about and women talking about their getting stuff off their chest and talking
Mhm.
things out, and that's a big thing these days.
Oh yeah.
In
Economy.
the economy, people losing money, and
I think it was always a big thing. It's just,
it wasn't
nobody-
Now it's acceptable.
yeah.
it wasn't acceptable to talk
There's a
about it,
stigma behind it, right?
but now it's
Before
totally
you used to go to a loony bin and be locked up, and now you can actually like function.
Yeah, that's right. And, after I posted the video on Facebook, I got a lot of comments from, older dudes who I never thought in a million years who were like, I really appreciate that. And, it's changing. The world's changing. It's becoming a better place. But you know, that's good on Bell. Bell screws me the rest of the year, but good on Bell. Good on
There's
Bell
one
for that
day
day.
that I like Bell.
One day of the year that I'm like, yeah, Bell's cool. The rest of the day, they just put it to me.
Yeah.
It's rough. So you know,
I'd feel a lot better if they took like a Let's Talk charge
yeah.
every month.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that? And you know, like, yeah, just having conversations with your buddy. And you know what? It all starts with, you know, being a positive person and just saying, you know, I don't even think people realize how big just saying hello to somebody when you pass them can change somebody's day or life or, you know, so.
Or a smile.
Hey, anything. Just be you.
We're all
Talk about
human.
shit. Yeah.
We're all imperfect.
We're all going through shit.
We're all made to make mistakes.
Life is a big smoke and mirrors. The deeper I get into this, the deeper I see that things aren't really what they appear to be.
For
My
sure.
life ain't perfect.
No.
No, nobody's is.
Mm-mm.
So, you know, that happened this week. Keep it real. Let's talk every day. You need somebody to talk to, hit me up at FearFishing. I'll talk to you.
Yep.
Yeah, you will.
I got life advice. I'll tell you. Shit gets real when you talk to me. Who watched the skills competition up here in Canada? Eh? We got a big thing on hockey. I watched the skills competition and I thought it was
It
like,
was in
just a
Nashville. You know
crock.
that, right? Like it's
I
not
don't
just
care
in
where
Canada.
it is. I don't care where it is. Americans watch hockey too. There's lots of American fans out there. It's just pure.
In the northern states, absolutely.
It's just corny. Like
Take your
ultimately
phone away.
corny. It is just one of those things where I watching it, I was like, this is just not as cool as it used to be.
No, it seems kind of scripted to me.
And like dummied up. Like
Yeah.
just dummied down
It's
to
like,
the point where
kind of like, look at me.
yeah, exactly. But it's not even like in a cool way anymore. And Marley and I were talking about this, and we were all talking that, you know, there isn't the superstar standouts that there used to be. There's Crosby who wasn't even in the All-Star game. And
Or
he's
Ovechkin.
or Ovechkin wouldn't show up, or Taves.
Yep.
Wouldn't show up. But you know, maybe guys are just getting better. Like there was a lot of guys there I don't watch hockey like I used to, but
Or is it because you're getting older and you're losing the whole in awe of the game? Like you're not in awe of the game anymore. You've kind of grown out of hockey.
I don't know.
I think the sport's changed a lot too.
Yeah, guys are definitely better.
A fourth line.
Yeah,
Any fourth line is like
He could
a
play.
second line.
Yeah, he could play in the 80s.
Yeah.
No problem.
Oh, for sure.
So I don't know. I just don't like how they dummy down the game. This 3-on-3 shit. How was it? Did anybody watch that? I was ice fishing.
Watch it.
Was it good?
It was all right. It was better than 5-on-5.
Yeah.
It's just like a breakaway contest, though, right?
Yeah.
At that point.
So I don't know. I couldn't care if they ever had an NHL All-Star game again.
I'd still watch
Just
it.
say it. Do you like it or you like?
I don't. I like the slap shot, the hardest shot, and the speed.
Well, we talked
Okay.
about this too, and
That's it.
these super sticks are nowhere comparable to like. I want to see Shane Weber get a big old piece of Sherwood, like
Take it old school.
like a 2x4 like L.I. Afraidy, and then let's see what he's got.
No curve.
No curve, straight stick, just a bomb. But you know, he's probably using about a $400 stick. That even when I was watching, they said they had it shipped in just for this. He's never used the stick before.
Yeah.
A 130 flex, which is like an iron rod. And when they
Really?
showed it in slow mo, that guy bent that stick, and they were talking
Wow.
like he said when he was warming up with it, he just got it in the morning. That when as soon as his first shot, his wrists were sore. He was like, "Wow, like there's some
I
kick
can
here."
feel all of it.
Yeah, because that stick is like,
Yeah.
you know, the average, you know, composite hockey stick's about 76, 80,
85.
85.
Yeah.
That's a long way from 85, 130.
Yeah, that's pretty.
And
sweet.
Chara, when he did it, he used like a 138, which is even like stiffer.
I used the 100 and I could hardly flex it.
That's crazy.
Hmm.
That is just
Seriously.
that is just obscene. So you know,
Imagine they had that for fishing.
yeah,
Like the
like
fishing
your
skills
flex.
contest.
Maybe that's where Rod's head instead of like you know, like you buy a drop shot rod or a flipping rod. Maybe now instead of like medium light, medium heavy,
You go by flex now.
you go by flex, like a bend. What's the bend on your rod? It's a 70. Who knows? Maybe that's where we're heading.
Whose curve do you like? A
Whose
Van Damme
curve?
curve?
You know, a Van Damme curve? Like what kind of guides are you
The
using?
handle, yeah.
What kind of
kinda
guides?
handle do you got?
I'm using Van Damme guides on a 96 flex.
Yeah.
Fishing Okeechobee. I'm going pan fishing this weekend with a 12. 7 foot, 12 flex.
Zero flex.
I
Zero
got the
flex, yeah.
Swindle skipping rod.
Yeah. It's probably like a 48 flex, ultra fast flex tip.
It is like that. It's just not as
It's
complicated.
for sure.
For JP is. He's technical.
Yeah, he is the technical. Like, wow. He did like I try to think
My mind
about
exploded.
mine too. Even when you watch that webcast, I'm like, what?
To who?
12 cranking
JP
rods? I
does.
don't even own.
Gross.
I wouldn't throw 12 different crankbaits in a year. I don't think.
No. Two,
Let
maybe.
alone need 12
You throw
rods.
2 because you'd lose one and then the second one.
He'd break one.
Yeah.
Here's
Lose
a good,
one,
here's a good
break
question
one.
for everybody. What song do you listen to get pumped up for fishing? I listen
That's a
to
good question.
I listen to the game, the Hate It or Love It.
But when I'm going fishing to get pumped up,
Cypress
it's like
Hill?
tournament fishing, so I don't have much control over the radio.
No, no, it's usually like NWA.
Yeah, usually.
You
That's
just
your go-to.
pumping, 5:30 in the morning, and NWA just blaring.
Lots of dirty looks.
Now, Alex, you got a good one. This is you'll never expect this out of Alex.
A little bit of Afro Man. Always gonna pump that.
Which song?
Palmdale.
I've
Yeah.
never heard of this. I thought the guy wrote one song.
Oh, you should probably listen to
No,
it.
I'm
he's
gonna
got a
have to
whole
check this.
album.
Really?
Yeah.
Does he have more than one album?
Oh, like 3 of them.
Oh wow.
Do you have them all?
Wow.
I got one.
Do you listen to them on CD or like iTunes?
iTunes.
Really?
Oh yeah, and they're cheap too.
Yeah, no
yeah,
kidding.
no doubt.
He's good.
Scott, what do you listen to?
Just whatever. I'm not really big on music and fishing together.
Really?
Yeah.
I listen to all kinds of stuff.
I like the Foo Fighters.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna throw out Sarah McLachlan.
Yeah.
That comes
No,
up a
I
lot.
like the Foo Fighters, and it makes me drive fast too.
Oh,
Really?
boy.
Yeah.
When
What's that
I'm
one
pre-fishing,
song?
I listen to my like headphones when I pre-fish by myself all the time, and I always listen to like One Bad Apple Don't Spoil the Whole Bunch, and I'll just like rock out there, like
Dancing?
old school stuff.
I
Like,
guess if anything, like alternative or
Really?
heavy metal or something, get you pumped.
Yeah, I got a lot of metal, like Slipknot and stuff.
Yep.
really,
Yeah.
That gets me all jacked
Corn.
Hey.
You're on
Do a couple
Catfish.
skips.
up. High school.
Some head banging.
Yeah.
the I do like the rap in the morning though. The rap gets my, hardcore, the game, Cypress Hill, NWA.
It's on the preset on the radio.
I got it right
It's
on my.
got like Hip Hop Nation, Shade 45, and then the Highway.
I just hit up my. I just hit up my iTunes and I have like a pre-tournament mix.
Okay.
Put her on there in the morning and, get to work. But when I get to like
It's NWA.
NWA,
Repeat.
well, there's a lot of NWA.
Repeat.
I just love it. I'm just another brother trying to
think
fish
it's-
my way out of the hood.
No. I think it's more for the head game for you. You just like fucking with people.
I don't know.
Yeah, I do.
I think it's when
Totally.
nobody comes up and talks to you.
That could be it too. Because I'll be like, I'll drive and I'll be like, like when you go through like to get to where you launch your boat. So we'll get there and then the music will just be blaring. I'll jump out to unhitch the boat and unharness it, and all you hear is it turn down. And Marley's like, I have no part of this.
And then Marley gets in the boat and
Yeah, exactly. Marley does a lot of this in the morning. No, I'm not with him.
Get spinners on your boat trailer.
I thought about that, but
Yeah.
when they rusted out, it'd suck.
Oh,
yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that'd be a nightmare. The let's talk about the cost of fishing. We brought up the bass boat thing before, and 112 grand for a new rig.
Bear.
I read an article on Facebook, and I wish for the life of me I could remember who wrote it, and it was really good. But it was basically talking about how fishing is becoming, especially tournament fishing, is becoming like an elite sport. And you need a pickup truck, you need a boat. Lucas,
You need a lot of money.
You need a lot of rods. You need
A lot of time.
a lot of
Therefore,
time.
time off work.
Tournament rods.
The craziest part is the entry fee is probably the cheapest part.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I was
And the
surprised.
gas-
Everything.
It
I thought-
wasn't. It's not that bad. In the United States, when you're fishing like the Walmart Tour or the Elite Series, it's pricey, but the paybacks are comparable to the entry fees, right? But
It's like the price of one rod and reel combo.
yeah, it's not. Yeah, but like, what happens? What's going to happen to our sport is it goes up and up in price. Like, how do you sign?
Well, it's starting to price out the market. Like, they're pricing themselves out of the market. The fishing community is becoming smaller and smaller and elitist because the average Joe can't afford to buy a $112,000 boat, and the average Joe's wife is certainly not going to put up with that. Like, from what I hear, I don't know anything about that.
And I'm pretty lucky to have the big Strat. Like, I got it when the dollar was good, many moons ago. But you know, looking now, when people ask me how to get into tournament fishing, and I explain how I did it, I'm like, that totally won't work today. Like, it just won't work. You know.
I find as well too. There's more bigger boats out there now than there was before too.
Absolutely.
So I don't know where they're getting their money from.
When guys, there's a lot of big bass. Like when we first started fishing bass tournaments, there was a lot of tinnies.
Oh yeah.
There was a lot of guys fishing tinnies, and you don't see them very often.
And if there was bass boats, there were lower end ones.
Yeah, you know, everybody, like 10 years ago, there were some guys who had like great big rigs, but it was like, wow.
But the rigs were nothing like they are now.
No, even electronics, like 10 grand to put, you know, a couple 10-inch screens and hook them all up in your boat now.
Yeah.
Like, man, that's a lot of money. I mean, there will always be people who pay for it, but
the best is when you go around and you see like the $70,000 boat, and then the truck pulling it.
Yeah,
is
the
like this
beat up.
$1,500 Chev.
Yeah. That's kind of funny, eh? Like, you know, or you know, there's been lots of times in our boat where I had like, you know, like gangster.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, your mic's really scratchy.
It's just a headset.
No,
You watch.
both of us.
You watch.
All right.
You watch. When
Fine.
this uploads,
Think
it'll
it
be
might-
beautiful.
It feels like it's almost because you're talking too close.
Nope.
Perfect.
Perfect.
It'll be perfect.
Okay.
Don't worry.
We're just looking out for you,
He
bro.
said
Trust
it.
me.
He said it, not me.
It was bugging me.
If
I'm
I'm
sorry. I just want. you
If
to
I'm
look
wrong,
good.
we'll read about it in the comments.
Okay, I'll
They'll
type
be
it.
like,
Be the
"Fucker."
first one there.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt.
I told you.
But you know, what is anybody looked at bass boats lately? What's a used, you know, like 2010 boat going for?
2010 boat?
Yeah,
Probably high 30s.
high 30s.
Yeah. Around
Hey.
That's
40.
even a lot. Like, that's more than some people spend on cars.
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah, and you know, engines are, you know, right around there. I paid a load for my Merc, and you know,
And with people, the economy being so bad and people losing their jobs and being laid off, like, who can really afford that?
how do we get people into fishing? Like Lucas Camp has a great idea about rebuilding the bass boats.
For sure, that's so cool.
It is really, really cool. But, you know, there's kind of like this, in young people today, there's kind of like this stigma that they don't want. A lot of kids I talk to want a brand new bass boat.
Yeah.
And they don't want to fish
They
out
don't
of...
want to work for it. They don't want to.
Well, it's not only that. They want that brand new look because
Best of
it's
the
like
best.
this bling bling MTV generation, you know. There's kind of that play into thing too, right? Like,
That's what everything in life's all about, though.
it is. It's totally what life's become, right? Guys, like young guys don't want to fish out of a, you know, 94 bass boat that's, you know, kind of beat up and they had to rebuild it. But some kids do, and some kids think that's cool. So
It's kind of relates back to cars. Like, I remember my first car was a really ugly brown color 89 Honda. But kids nowadays are getting brand new cars off the lots as their first car.
I did.
You got a brand new car?
I had a lowrider Sonoma.
Yeah. I had a shit brown 89 Honda.
Lowrider
Rusty.
Sonoma.
It was awesome.
Traded
it was an
her
Accord
in.
loaded right
Traded
out.
her in with 56,000 kilometers on it
Wow.
for a Chevy Silverado. Yep.
Went downhill.
Rusted out on
And
me.
now you're a
It was
Ford
like
man.
we were fishing tournaments. I think it was awesome on gas.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you could
Amazing.
drive anywhere. But it was probably like 5 years old, and you could hardly keep the doors on it. Like, it just rusted out so bad.
The thing was self-destructing.
Yeah, it was bad. Like, I remember one time I was driving down the highway. It's like almost a brand new truck, and I went to close. You know how like the doors open a bit, so I was gonna like give the door a pull to shut it, and the whole inside of the panel ripped off. Yeah, but she was a gem on highway performance. Still on the boat. That thing would do a ton of kilometers, and it was a 2-wheel drive pickup, so it got stuck all the
Oh.
time. Oh man, that Pathfinder that Marley put through the ice, he spent a ton of time pulling me out of like ditches and, you know, parking lots and wherever we go ice fishing. So, you know, how do you battle this? How, Alex, you're a guy who doesn't have great big bass boat, and you said you were,
I just got a little 12-foot tenor.
and you're like, are you looking at a bass boat? Has it come up? Now you're living on the lake?
Oh, it's been up a couple times, but it's been shot down by the wife a lot. Basically, how I look at it is my 4-wheeler and ice huts are my bass boat.
I got you.
So I either had to get the 4-wheeler or
Yep.
I got a bass boat. and I
What
got a
about,
4-wheeler.
you got a garage? What about the rebuilding process? Do you think you could pull that off?
Yeah, I'd like that.
You would do that?
Yeah. Like if I can find one cheap enough, like even like $5,000 kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like make sure everything's good.
Should we be
Polish
looking
her
for you?
No,
No, not right now.
not yet. A couple years.
It's tough.
work on
You
stuff.
know, it is tough, and it's hard to like when a 20-year-old kid messages you and he's like, how do I get into bass fishing tournaments? It's pretty hard to say. Well, you pretty much need to work till you're 40 and save everything you have, or you can make the down payment on a bass boat.
Sick part about it is they'll finance those things for 20 years.
Yeah.
They will.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the scary part. $500 a
And I
month.
wonder how many of these things are financed like that.
Who knows? And like that's the big smoke and mirrors thing, right? The
So $100,000 bass boat's like
400.
200.
yeah, it's crazy.
250.
And how do you ever get away from paying that debt?
Well, not only, you have
And-
a car
and you know
payment
what-
or a truck payment. You have the boat
It's-
payment, plus you have your mortgage, and then you have two
It's not
kids.
reasonable in
2.5.
Canada to buy that boat and expect to pay it off on fishing either,
Mm-mm.
right? So
You'd have to have the dream season.
2 of them
Every year.
back to back,
Absolute dream season.
back to back.
And it's just not going to happen.
You'd have to be like Jared Dean in 04, just pulling it up. Like, yeah, you'd have to have like those kind of years where you're really clean up and everything.
Yeah.
And you'd have to buy like a 18-footer with a 150 for you could get in all those.
You'd have to fish everything.
You have to fish
And
everything.
win everything.
And win everything. All right, my man Scott, our guest for tonight, David Chong, Canadian pro angler. He's ready, so can you call him in on the Skype, my man? Pretty excited to have Dave on. Dave's been fishing bass tournaments since I was a kid. Like, that was one of the first names I ever heard on Chex TV.
I remember reading those old like tournament angler magazines.
Really?
He was in there all the time.
Always on there. Dave was like a staple of the Canadian bass fishing, scene for years and years and years, and he's at every event. It's not very often that I don't see Dave at an event. Should just be
Hello.
coming in. Good day, sir. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ian?
We're excellent, my man. We're super glad to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time out to do this.
Not a problem. How's the sound on that end?
The sound is awesome. Do you have can you come in on video or no? There should be
I
like
don't know.
a little camera there
Oh,
somewhere.
yeah.
If you can see it.
Let's see, little camera thing. It's kind of dark in here. I don't know how much you can see me. but
Not a
if
problem.
I can-
Well, here it comes.
Am I there?
You are
There's
there.
a black
we can't
screen.
see. We can't see Dave at all. It's all good, man.
He's hiding his eyes.
We're just happy to have you. We'll take Dave. We'll take Dave's voice. So
I thought I'd pull over here. It's nice and quiet and a little bit of rain, but not too bad.
where were you ice fishing today, my man? Can you hear us, Dave?
Yeah, I didn't hear that last little part. I can hear you now.
You were. I heard you were out on the ice today. Where were you fishing?
We were fishing up in Cooks Bay on Lake Simcoe there.
Yep.
Lots of tons of fish. I don't know where you. I know you guys are out too. We caught. I know personally. I kept a count today just to figure out what I was doing. I caught 162 perch today.
Wow.
Just that. That's all.
The perch.
But the problem with that being, the biggest one might have been about 10 inches, and probably there's only 7 or 8 that were kind of between 9 and 10 inches.
Wow.
Other than that, they were all dinks.
That's tough. That just shows there's a ton of perch out there. They just don't seem to be growing. We used to go to Simcoe a lot, but the last few years it's a long drive for us to go up there and catch a bunch of small perch.
Yeah, it's been disappointing. I've been out a couple of times, and first time out we got into a few good ones, like probably a couple in the 12, 13 inch, but not a lot of them. So yeah, it's this weather I'm sure has a lot to do with it. It seems like, except for today, every other day I've been out, there's been a strong east wind, and we know what that does to fishing.
Yeah, absolutely. First off, I want to say congratulations on your Renegade Classic win. That's a huge accomplishment, my man.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's really cool. And Classic wins are big. Can you give us like a quick run through of how that weekend went and how you pulled off the win?
Sure. I'll try to kind of give you the Coles Notes version.
Yeah.
Anybody who understands talking about as far as Coles Notes go must be over 40. But anyway.
I failed high school because of Cole's Notes.
Luckily, the Classic this year fell on a body of water that we're very comfortable with, the St. Lawrence River. And we came out of Morrisburg, but the weather, again, as usual, you can't control that. It was nasty, east wind. It pretty well rained the entire weekend. And, our pre-fish wasn't great. It was okay. And that kind of actually helped us a little bit because it allowed us to kind of focus on just a couple areas rather than trying to, fish the entire river or run to the lake or anything. And I think that actually played to our advantage. We knew we weren't going to get a lot of bites, which again plays to our advantage because I know there's people who fish the same areas and don't necessarily, I don't know if they don't have the experience or whatever, the patience to kind of sit there and grind it out for 6 to 8 bites a day. We end up getting more than that, but that's kind of really the mindset you have to have.
Yep.
And luckily after the first day, we were leading. We had to overcome a few things. We ran out of ice, and big smallies. Sometimes that can be a problem. We actually, unfortunately, ended up losing a fish on the first day, which I really was concerned that if we lost the Classic by a half a pound or less, I would have been very, very upset. I'm upset anyways, just at losing a fish. I hate when that happens, but unfortunately it does.
Yep.
And then the second day, almost played out like clockwork. We got there and it was way better than we thought it was going to be. We got 4 fish like boom, 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 boom in the first 15 minutes, and probably had 17 pounds on 4 fish. And
wow.
But then it just shut off. And then it was just a grind, and we managed to cull a couple of times, and luckily it was enough to win. There's some tough teams in that circuit. And,
yeah, for sure that is.
We couldn't. Yeah, even though we had I think we had about a 2-pound lead going into the second day. There's nothing is given when you're fishing against anglers of that caliber out there.
Now, by winning the Renegade Classic, you got a chance to go to Gunnersville and fish the Bassmasters team event. What was that experience like?
Oh, incredible. Just incredible. I you know what? We had a chance to go last year.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, because my partner, Doug Brownridge, he was also the national contender for the Ontario Bass Federation last year, and he had already been down to Louisiana. We just didn't have the time to go in 2014.
Yep.
So this year, because it was on Gunnersville, we said we got to go. And but the odds really, being from Canada and everything, the odds really are against you.
For sure.
Because we literally had a day and a half of pre-fish on a body of water we've never been on before.
And that's a very popular American lake. Like, the American guys that fish there and probably fish there a lot.
Oh yeah. Well, the field was 197 teams.
Wow.
And it's not just 197 teams. It's 197 of the top teams from every circuit across the states in Canada.
Yep.
So there's no weak teams there, and probably I would say there was probably 50 from the Alabama kind of area.
Yep.
So these guys were very familiar with Gunnersville, and we went down there, and I'll give you an example. Although Simcoe's a big lake.
Okay. Yeah, I did. I fished Simcoe. Yep.
Simcoe has about, I do believe, about 170 miles of shoreline.
Okay.
Gunnersville, try over 900 miles of shoreline.
Wow.
Holy.
That's a lake.
You don't realize how big that is.
If that gives you,
That's a lake.
any perspective in what we're dealing with, down there.
That's a lot of water to cover in a day and a half of pre-fishing. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And the first day of pre-fish, we didn't even catch a fish.
Wow. It's hard, and we talked about this before about Canadian pros, like the guys who went to Okeechobee, who were going to fish the Walmart event. That's a long way to go to try to win an event.
Yeah, it was about a 16-hour drive for us.
Yeah.
You know, which is not as far as Okeechobee, but it might as well be. It's,
Absolutely.
You know,
Yep.
When you're over 12 hours, it's a long drive.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, now let's get in. I saw the limit fish video from the FLW tournament where you lost that giant fish. Can you walk us through, you know, what we didn't see on camera? How, like, did you see the fish grab a hold of the bait when you set hook, or, you know, what was it? What do you think it was?
It was a largemouth.
Yep.
It was a good fish. I'm guessing I didn't fully see the fish. I just saw the side of it as I set hook and turned it.
Yep.
And you know, it was at least 4 pounds. You know, it might have been bigger, but it was at least a good 4-pound fish. And it was, and I don't want to blame it on the camera being there, but you know, if you've done ever very much filming,
Yep.
you know, fishing, the camera curse does play a part at times.
Absolutely. Marley won't let me film tournaments because of the camera curse. I'd like to run my GoPro, and he will have no part of it.
Well, I don't blame him because you know what, I can go over so many instances where they played a part. Now I'm not gonna blame it. It was just one of those things, you know. Sometimes I got a good hook set. I turned the fish. You know why it came off. You know, it's just one of. Sometimes fish just come off.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's part of the game, right?
Yeah, but you saw by my reaction right away. I knew that fish was gonna hurt him.
And even if that fish was 4 pounds, I would have won you the FLW event, right? Give or take.
I don't. Yeah.
It would have been close.
A little bit more than that. It would have given a second for sure.
Second for sure.
Yeah, because we ended up third, and we were
Yep.
just a smidgen behind second. I don't know if it would have given us. It would have been tight anyways, because you know who knows? It might have been a 5. It might have been a 5.5.
Yep.
You know,
It would have been
it
close.
It was a big fish. Yeah.
Now, you've been fishing tournaments for years and years. Marley and I, just before you came on, we're talking about how you're one of the most, like, one of the names we recognize from bass fishing tournaments in Canada growing up. And I can remember seeing you on Chex TV when I was a kid fishing, like, yeah, way back in the day. We can remember watching it together on, like, Saturday mornings when we were 10 years old, you know.
That must have been Bassing Ontario days. Wow.
Yeah, that was, you know, what got you into fishing? Like, we were talking too that there's not many events that I've fished in my life that you weren't at. Like, I could probably name them on one hand, the ones that you didn't fish.
Yeah.
Where did this all come from, Dave? Like, what got you your start in fishing to, you know, where it is now?
You know what? A friend of mine, like unlike a lot of other kids, I actually probably didn't fish for the first time until I was about 8 years old.
Wow.
And a friend of mine from public school, his dad took him, his brother, and myself, and we went up, and I'm pretty sure that we went and fished off of Gannon's Narrows between Buckhorn and Pigeon.
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
Way there.
Yep.
And that's all it took. That one time, and that was it. From there on, I really just wanted to fish. I used to sneak off to Hyde Park after that, and my cousin and I, we used to fish in Red Deer Pond all the time. Then as we got older, we rode bikes, and we used to ride all the way out to Port Credit to fish salmon, and
that's
down
awesome.
to downtown to fish white bass, over to the islands to fish. Everywhere we could ride to, we would go fish. Humber River, you name it.
That's awesome.
And
what is was there a lot of young people back then in the Toronto area fishing?
Probably more so than now.
Yep.
Unfortunately, today, and I see it with my nieces and nephew. I have 6 nieces and nephews, and they're all in that, kind of 16 to 18, 19 years of age. And at those, like at that stage in our life, that's what we were doing. We were running around, fishing. You know, of course, we did a little bit of partying, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had to make sure we went around our fishing schedule.
Absolutely.
And nowadays, I mean, there's just so many other things. I don't know if I want to call them distractions, but I guess other priorities. Video is a big thing. Video games
Yep.
for kids in the spare time. There's a lot of things for fishing to compete with these days.
What do you think we need to do to grow our sport? How do we compete against video games? That's the question that always comes up. How do we convince? Because it's a lot of what I see now is as soon as a kid does put down a video game, goes out there and catches a fish, he has the same experience that you and I did, and then they're hooked. But how do we convince them to just give it a try?
Well, I think the thing is we really, and as tournament anglers, as avid anglers, we all need to support as many family and kid oriented events as possible. And you probably know that I host an event.
The Catch a Dream.
For the kid from Big Brothers, Big Sisters, Make a Wish Foundation, Hospital for Sick Kids, and the Catch a Dream Kids Fishing Derby. And anybody who's ever been out to that, and anybody who's ever been part of it, knows how much gratification you get from being a part of an event like that. Seeing the kids' faces, seeing kids who've never caught a fish before catch a fish.
Yep.
And the thing I know we try to make sure we do at that event is every kid leaves there with their own rod and reel,
Yep.
bunch of tackle. It's one thing to get them to do it, and then they go home and they don't have the equipment to go do it themselves.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not going to be much good. But we want to make sure that they go home, at least they have the opportunity, hopefully, to go again and go somewhere else. And we've actually had kids who have come out to our event. I think we've had some kids who have come out for like almost 6 years in a row.
Wow.
Until they were literally too old to come.
Yep.
Almost adults. So and family fishing days. Our friends at the Toronto Urban Fishing Ambassadors.
Yep.
Do a great job of hosting those events and making sure, to the point where they actually put their own money in to buy rod and reels for these kids to use on that day.
That's awesome. And that's really huge. And sometimes I get the feeling that tournament anglers in all across the board forget about the kid who's watching the weigh-ins. And when a lot of tournament anglers have a bad habit of just leaving after they weigh in, but there's a lot of kids there who even if there's 5 kids who show up to watch the weigh-in, we really need to take the time to talk to those 5 kids, because that's the future of the sport, right?
Sure. And I mean, I don't know. I know some other guys do it as well, but when I'm pre-fishing, we always have some grubs and some tackle on board. And if there's kids around a dock and we start and they happen to be interested in fishing, we talk to them. A lot of times we'll throw them a pack of plastics or something. Again, just
that's super cool.
It's something that doesn't really cost us very much, and it's something that I think we all need to do, because otherwise, our sport's going to get lost amongst everything, all those other distractions out there.
Yeah, and absolutely. And I was actually talking to Corey Johnson at the boat show, and I was joking with him that we really need to do something, because 15 years from now it's going to be me, Corey, Curtis Richardson, TJ, Marley, and Rich. And I was like, this is not going to be a whole lot of fun for the 5 of us to fish against each other.
Right.
You're 100%
right. And not everybody. I mean, they're fantastic anglers.
Oh yeah, they're studs.
Corey and Chris, but they grew up with a dad who was a top champion.
Absolutely.
Already.
He's still a hell of a stick.
Oh yeah. No, the whole family.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's lots of families out there where the parents don't know how to take their kids fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And we kind of related to that back to, it's kind of like skateboarding. No kid ever started skateboarding because his dad took him on Saturday mornings to skateboard. And you don't have to have your father fish to become a fisherman. We just need to figure out how to reach those kids at home.
Yeah.
My dad's fishing was using a a stick at Lake Simcoe to catch perch. Like he's no superstar of the game, but
Oh,
just
my
watching.
dad was the same way. As much as he loved fishing,
Yeah.
he was very. His fishing knowledge was very basic. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, and you know, I really fell in love with fishing through, you know, watching Saturday mornings on Chex TV, TNN Outdoors. Like, you know, watching Kevin Van Dam as like a 20-year-old 20 years ago, and, you know, watching you guys on Chex Television and, you know, a Zoomy show and Fishing Canada, you know, that's what really sparked my interest in fishing. And as soon as I was like 10 years old, and I fished every day since, like, pretty much since then. I partied, but I dragged myself away from the party to go fishing. So
Absolutely.
we just have to find, you know, that way to reach those kids, because they're out there. They just need a taste of this.
Right. Yeah. No. I know exactly what you're saying. We used to go up, and maybe you've been there, remember it, but there used to be a place up in Bob Cajun called the doctor's office.
Yep.
Which was a very popular night spot in there, and we'd go there, and we'd go to the doctor's office. We'd close it, and then we'd pull out our fishing gear and go to the dam and fish.
That's like here at the Ganny, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. And those are the great memories you have, right? Tournaments are awesome, but everybody who fishes, like, you know, there's taking tournament fishing out of it. Some of the best moments I've had in fishing had nothing to do with, you know, filming fishing or sponsors or you know, it was just hanging out with my buddies, catching fish, or, you know, the buddy who had never really fished before catching, you know, some huge fish and all laughing about it. I really think it's the experience of fishing we need to sell, because the catching part is only a small part of the lifestyle of fishing.
Sure, for sure. And nowadays, and unfortunately, we're having such a tough winter right now as far as ice fishing go. Because for me, ice fishing is the best social event. If you get a nice day out there, you get a group of people. I mean, last year at the late ice there, we had a couple of days when we had 20 plus people, including, you know, Big Jim McLaughlin, you know, Will Wegman, and some friends brought their kids, and everybody just out there having a great time, catching a few fish, poking some fun at each other. Just, you know, it's
that's the awesome part of fishing. You know,
it's my favorite fishing.
I get as big of a kick of, you know, we ran a fear fishing day a couple times this year at Gagnon Sports, and I know you had an ice fishing seminar at Gagnon's and other stores across Ontario, but I get just as much of a kick just going there and talking to people about fishing as I do fishing.
Yeah, no, and actually the Gagnon one was interesting, because we had quite a few kids come there with their parents.
Yep.
And then we did one up at LeBaron's up in Ottawa, and the number of female anglers that came out there was awesome. I bet we had at LeBaron's, it was probably 120 people, but I bet you there was 20 female anglers there.
That's awesome.
Great to see.
And that's another big thing. When I was younger, I don't ever remember seeing any female anglers down at the Ganaraska River, or very seldomly. But now there's women anglers everywhere, and they're doing really well.
Yeah, well, and you look at some of the groups we have out there, you know, with, you know, Yvonne Brown has her Fishing 101 for women, and there's the great, you know, Canadian female anglers, and there's some, you know, bodies, you know, groups of female anglers out there that love fishing every bit as much as we do.
Yes, absolutely, and that's a huge growth in the market is seeing women out there fishing, and it's really cool to see the evolution of fishing. And I think it's probably an S curve, and it's going to pick up at some point to new numbers. But, you know, we just got to figure out the formula to reach more kids at home.
Well, I think it's a simple formula, and if everybody who loves to fish took a kid out fishing a couple times a year, I mean, once you get them doing it, I mean, it's hard for them not to be hooked on it. Absolutely.
All right, Dave, we know you got to finish your drive home, but before we let you go, the Fear Fishing webcast thing here is we need to hear your best fishing story.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we've had some good ones.
Oh my God. Okay, this is my best fishing story. Okay,
this is
100% true, and I have people who will sign affidavits and signatures, okay? So anybody who fished, I think, has heard about the banana theory.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So anyways, a good friend of mine is Corey Trepanier, who's a very well-known artist in Ontario here. And I took him and his brother out on a guide trip out in Lake Simcoe.
Yep.
And, you know, we're fishing away. We go out there, and I had been on the smallies pretty good, and I knew what color tube they're eating. And so we get out there, and I start catching fish right away. I had the same tube on for them. They had the same rod and reel, same line, same combo, everything. So I was up about 8 fish, and these guys actually used to do some tournaments as well. And neither one of them had got a fish yet. And I thought, wow, that's kind of strange, you know. We're going through the same water, same color tube. And then Corey's brother Carl says, well, I'm not catching them. I'm going to sit down and have a snack. Lunch, and he pulls out a banana.
Get it off, get it off.
What are you doing? Don't you know about bananas and fishing boats? You can't bring a banana on a boat. And they're both looking at me like I got 3 heads. Like, what the hell are you talking about? So I tried to explain to them, you know, why it was bad luck. Anyways, he ate his banana, sitting there looking at me like, yeah, okay, whatever. And so we continue on, and I caught about 4 or 5 more fish, and neither one of them caught anything. And Corey finally said, damn it, superstition or not, I don't care, you know. I don't need a banana. He went into his lunch. He had another banana, and he threw his banana overboard.
That's awesome.
And I swear, within 2 minutes, he caught the biggest smallmouth of his life, just over 6 pounds.
That's awesome. Yeah,
And then him and I actually, he kind of went. I catch one, he'd catch one, I'd catch one. His brother Carl, still sitting back there going, and he's thinking, my God, I ate my banana. How am I going to fix this now? And he's the only one in the boat not catching. We're using the exact same thing. I even switched rods and reels with him. And I picked up his and I caught a fish right away.
That's funny. We were actually.
So anyways, he goes.
Oh. Keep going. Hello?
Oh, sorry.
No, keep going.
But anyway, so he says, well, okay, he's thinking, going, okay, I'll throw my banana peel away at this. And he tosses it overboard. And this is, if you talk to these guys, I can even bring them on. They can swear to this.
That's awesome.
Within a couple of minutes, he catches the biggest smallmouth of his life.
Wow.
Again, over 6 pounds. And then for the rest of the day, we went back. Everybody caught fish.
That's awesome. And I was just going to tell you, we were in lineup at Top Bass this year to weigh our fish in, and we were talking to this team, and the one was sitting in his chair, and I asked him, how did you do? And he's like, oh, we just got 2 small keepers. And he said, I don't know what happened. I was all over them in pre-fish. And he turns around and his partner's eating a banana. And he went out of his mind. and I've never seen anybody like turn on his partner so fast in my life.
Hilarious. You can't make stories like that up.
No, not at all.
That's probably the best fishing story I have.
That's awesome. Well, thank you very much, Dave. You're a great ambassador to the sport. I'm sure I'll see you this summer at a tournament somewhere in Ontario.
Yeah, I'm sure we will.
Thank you.
Happy to be on, and look forward to be on FearFishing again.
I would love to have you back, Dave. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this.
Okay, take care.
We'll talk to you soon, my man.
Okay, take care. Bye.
Yeah, that's crazy. So yeah, he waited. Do you remember that? And he just like he's telling us about how they've had the hardest day in the world, and he's like, I killed them during pre-fish. He's like, I don't know what happened, and he turns around, and his buddy had like he might have been like his 2nd or 3rd tournament, and he is unraveling a banana.
I thought he was gonna slap the banana out of his hand.
Push him overboard.
I never laughed so hard in my life. And we're both like looking at this guy talking to him, and I'm looking over and watching him unpeel this banana, and he just goes nuts. He's like, you gotta be effing F. It was awesome. Wow. But it's true. I've never taken them banana fishing.
I have.
So
Have
why
you?
is it bad
During
luck?
the tournament?
Yeah.
Do we shit the bed?
No.
You hear it. You want to hear
Oh,
it.
you're such a liar.
I swear to God.
He doesn't believe in this stuff, but his
Well, just for that,
His
Ian's gonna
wifey's-
bring his camera now.
No
wifey
cameras.
Melissa.
No cameras.
His wifey Melissa, if we know she's coming to weigh in, terrible tournaments. If she's like upfront about, yeah, I can't make it, top 10. Even if like there's a glimpse, like I'll be like, we'll be like 2:00 in the afternoon, like all 13 pounds, and I'll be like, I'll bet you Melissa shows up today. And then as soon as we get the thing, there's Melissa standing there. And it's nothing on Melissa's. It just always seemed to be like this, eh?
Yeah.
I can't ever think of catching a big bag when Melissa was coming.
No, she picks the wrong days.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a grind. But that was really great. Dave Chong does a ton of great things for kids in the world of fishing. He's a super guy.
You see him everywhere.
He is
been
everywhere.
doing it
Like
a long
every tournament I go to, he's there.
He's always there. There's not I can't even think of very many tournaments I've ever fished that Dave wasn't there.
And he always fishes the biggest ones.
Yep, he is definitely a supporter of the fishing
Yeah,
and the
we
growth
need,
of fishing.
we need more people like him and Big Jim. The things they do.
You know, it takes everybody working together to grow this thing, and Dave's certainly done his part. Now, before we wrap this up, we were on the TMZ before we got here, and the Playboy Mansion is for sale.
Are you gonna buy it?
Fear Fishing Paradise.
Yeah.
The only problem is that
The
they
fishing
want
mansion?
$200 million for it. A mansion in the same neighborhood, recently sold for $60 million. And if you buy the mansion, you got to keep half there till he dies.
No, absolutely not.
Would you do it,
Nope.
gentlemen? And they're from what we just
Do you get
read.
to keep half forever?
I don't know if he dies. Do you
Stuff
mount him?
him.
Like you get to
Stuff
keep them, mount them?
Do you like put him into like formaldehyde and keep him in a jar there?
Maybe. Here's the question. This is what I was thinking. What if he lives forever? How do you get the guy out of your house? Like, you just get up in the kitchen, like in the morning, walk down, and you guys have breakfast together, like he's your grandfather now. And we did read that nobody's ever died in that house. 2 people have died on the property, but not in the mansion. Does this change
Hef
anything
will
for
be
you?
the first one to die in the mansion for sure. If he's not leaving,
$200 million. Would you
No.
pay $200 million?
nope.
No.
I would pay 200 million maybe for the house, but not with Hef.
What? You'd pay $200 million?
I don't know.
They're claiming it's $140 million overpriced.
Well, if I had 200 million, if I had lots of millions,
Lots of millions?
maybe.
If you only had 200 million.
No,
Would-
I
you
wouldn't
spend
buy them.
everything on it.
No,
No?
no.
Begsy?
No.
Really? If I had $1 billion, I would buy it in a heartbeat.
A
I would be
billion?
Half's best friend. I'd hang out with him,
Of
smoke
course you would.
cigars.
If you moved in, he'd move out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'd be like, all right.
I can't handle
like,
this
I'm
guy.
having
Could you imagine we could have Half on the Fear Fishing webcast? Put a pond in the backyard, fill her full of bass?
No, you just make the grotto.
Yeah.
The pond.
Largemouth.
Yeah.
You imagine in like that
Fill in
80-degree
the pool
water.
with like yeah.
Shad.
Just gray shad.
Gray shad. Giant largemouth.
You'd walk by and they'd come out. jump
First
on you.
world problems.
Yeah.
$200 million for a house with a lot of money.
With an old man in it. No. Who creepy? He's creepy.
He does seem creepy. He doesn't seem.
creeps me out.
He doesn't seem like. If Sean Connery came at the house, I'd be in.
Absolutely, I'd totally be in. But
James
Sean
Bond?
Connery beats his wives.
How do you know that?
I heard it on TMZ.
Oh my
It's
god.
gotta be true then.
It's gotta be
It
true.
was on Facebook.
It didn't really
It
happen
happened.
unless you read it on Facebook. So Connery came with the house, I'd take it for sure. I'd move to Ireland if I could have Connery.
I just listened to him.
He's so cool.
Yeah.
He is just badass.
Well, he talks about smacking women up because they're not listening.
That was on Saturday Night Live.
No, it wasn't.
Really?
Yeah.
I've heard this too, yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you
for
really?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you not know this?
Sean Connery's a woman beater?
Yes. He said sometimes they don't listen. You have to smack them.
Wow.
Literally. Women don't listen.
Lord, tell me.
Shut up.
Tickle my back.
Oh, stop. You don't listen.
You know, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. You know, oh, I almost forgot the sponsors again. Man, I'm bad at this. See,
They're right there, though.
they're on there, but you know, for the iTunes listeners and SoundCloud, remember you can listen to this on iTunes, SoundCloud, Instagram, Fear_Fishing, Fear Fishing on Facebook, Fear Fishing Webcast on Facebook, and Twitter at Fear Fishing. And I want to give a huge thanks to Liquid Mayhem and R&J Tire. If you need tires, go to R&J Tire in Pickering, Ontario.
Anything. Not
Floor
just
mats.
tires.
Floor mats? Yeah, we have
Everything.
badass floor mats from there.
Car parts and
We
accessories.
do have some big things on. We're working on. This should be a big week for Fear Fishing. It should be really exciting. There's some huge things coming. I'm excited to talk about. Till the
A lot
next
of things in
webcast,
the works.
I want to thank you everybody for tuning in. Huge support. Thank you so much. Comment below on Facebook, SoundCloud, iTunes. Hook us up. Make sure you talk fishing. Take a kid fishing. Be safe on the ice. And have yourself a great week.